At the edge of a quiet countryside settlement, where red soil met tall grass and footpaths curved like memories, lived an elderly woman named Zaharayani. No one knew her exact age, only that time had softened her voice and silvered her hair, which she wrapped carefully each morning. Her home was a modest clay house leaning slightly under the arms of an ancient silk-cotton tree. Inside there was little: a low wooden cot, a soot-stained cooking stand, and 2 cracked water pots that had survived more years than most people. Zaharayani lived alone. Her husband had died long ago during a season of sickness that swept through the village. Her only child had left for the city many years later, chasing opportunity, and never truly returned. The villagers noticed her solitude, yet what puzzled them most was her expression. She greeted dawn with a smile and dusk with the same calm warmth, as if loneliness had never learned her name. That same summer, a young woman called Ilara arrived from the city to stay with relatives nearby. At 21, Ilara felt hollowed out by disappointment. She had failed an important exam, lost a close friendship to betrayal, and grown tired of hearing how others her age were doing better. Each evening, she sat alone with thoughts that felt heavier than her body, wondering where she had gone wrong. One morning, while wandering aimlessly, Ilara noticed Zaharayani beneath the silk-cotton tree. The old woman was scattering grains for birds, humming softly, her movements unhurried and gentle. Sparrows gathered without fear. Zaharayani smiled at them as though they were old friends. Ilara slowed her steps. Day after day, she passed the tree and saw the same ritual: feeding, humming, smiling. Something about the old woman's quiet peace felt out of place in a world Ilara believed was unfair. One evening, as the air cooled and shadows stretched long, Ilara finally spoke. "May I sit here for a while?" she asked, unsure why her voice trembled. Zaharayani looked up, eyes bright. "Of course, this tree listens best at sunset." They sat in silence until Ilara's thoughts spilled out. "You live alone, you've lost so much, yet you seem light. How is that possible?" Zaharayani let out a soft laugh. "This calm came late, child. It was earned." She began her story. She spoke of a marriage built on little more than hope, of joy found in raising a child, and of loss that arrived without warning. When her husband died, there had been no doctor close enough, no money fast enough. Grief became her daily companion, but survival demanded more than sorrow. She worked wherever she could, endured hunger quietly, and pushed her child toward education with stubborn faith. When her daughter left for the city, Zaharayani waited. Letters slowed, calls stopped. Once she traveled to find her, only to see her daughter from across a busy street, happy, settled, complete without her. So I turned back, not because it didn't hurt, but because love sometimes means stepping away without causing pain. Ilara's eyes burned with tears. "Didn't anger destroy you?" "It tried," replied Zaharayani, "until I learned 3 things." She held up her fingers. "First, release what refuses to stay. Some doors close no matter how hard you knock. Peace begins when you stop bleeding at locked doors. Second, notice what still breathes with you. I have food for birds, shade from this tree, and a heart that still feels wonder. Gratitude is not about abundance, it is about awareness. And third, give. Even when you feel invisible, especially then. When I give, I remember that my existence still matters. The sky darkened as Alara listened. Something inside her loosened, as if a tight knot had finally given way. When she stood to leave, Ilara smiled. A real one, the kind she hadn't felt in weeks. Later, back in the city, Ilara's life did not magically improve. The struggles remained, but she began her mornings differently, naming small things she was grateful for. She stopped chasing people who chose distance and started offering kindness where she once needed it most. She learned what Zahara Aini already knew. Happiness is not the absence of hardship, it is the presence of meaning. Life will always carry loss, disappointment, and unanswered questions, but peace is built slowly through acceptance, gratitude, and quiet acts of kindness. We often wait for life to become easier before allowing ourselves to smile. Yet sometimes life softens only after we choose to smile first. Not because everything is well, but because the heart deserves rest.